Well, a ninth-inning rally was enough for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks as they come into Dorn Park to take the 5-4 victory here against the Bourne Braves. But we're still here for Tomahawk Talk. Troy Lynch on my right, Michael Stern on my left, and I'm Kyle Kercheval with your hosting duties tonight. Thank you, Weston. Well, for the Oakland Athletics, injuries have absolutely decimated this roster heading into the 2018 season. Whether it be position players or pitchers, the injury bug has shown no mercy here in Mesa, and Paul Blackburn is the latest victim. The 24-year-old right-hander was diagnosed with a right forearm strain yesterday, and although the MRI came back negative and showed no structural damage, he is listed day-to-day, and as a result, the A's now have just 5 healthy starters for the rest of camp and now going into the 2018 season. In an effort to counter this, well, they signed Trevor Cahill the other day to a small contract. The 30-year-old veteran got his start with the Oakland A's back in 2009, had an excellent 2010 season, but spent last year split between the San Diego Padres and the Kansas City Royals. Bob Melvin said that Cahill looks like the pitcher of old, like he saw back in the late 2000s, but right now he's just not quite ready for opening day. Now with an update from the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, I'll send it over to Tempe Diablo with Brooke Catelli.
But first, let's touch base with the Ooks of NAIT coming in here tonight. What team is the Sun Devils going to face out on the ice?
Well, ASU is going up against a really solid Ook squad that not only finished the regular season last year with the best record in the ACAC, but it's also a team that finished second in the conference championship. They're a super balanced roster. It really should be a good test for ASU right out of the gates. Yeah, Joe, I mean, they're absolutely moving in the right direction. You mentioned Quinnipiac, the Air Force game. You also have to look at the Western Michigan and Ohio State games last season. Games that officially go down as ties for the Sun Devils, but ASU gets a goal in overtime and they win a shootout against both of those teams. I mean, that's a lot of success against some really good opponents. But when you preview this ASU team this year, when you look at the roster as a whole and really an entire organization, you have to consider the fact that as an independent school, they're going to travel a lot. They have another really tough schedule this year. But really, I wouldn't be shocked, and I think a lot of people wouldn't be shocked, if the Sun Devils came out and surprised some people this year.
Peyton at the point guard spot while Devin Booker there at the shooting guard position.
Yeah.
That's something they want to do.
Definitely, Chaz. I think so. I think if you put Devin Booker and Elfrid Payton out there, they balance each other out pretty well. Payton's one of those guys that I mentioned earlier is a really good defensive player. He's averaged over 6 assists throughout his entire career. He can pass the ball around. And then you've got Booker, who's becoming a budding playmaker in and of himself. We obviously know he can score the basketball at a high rate and now an even more efficient rate, but his passing has improved as well. So if you have the two of those guys out there, I think that provides a lot of flexibility for Jay Toronto running the offense. And in the long term, I think you've got Peyton and Booker, two really young guys that I think are just starting to realize how good they can be in this league. You put them together, that's a pretty good backcourt.
How do they take this into Harwich tomorrow?
Well, you know when you come against this Falmouth team that it's likely going to be a slugfest. And it wasn't exactly that tonight, but there was plenty of offense on the scoreboard. And really, the big bang was Scott Schreiber being able to come through with a home run. Not a whole lot of extra bases from this Bourne Braves team, but to be able to pick up a home run, especially of the 3-run variety, is absolutely huge, especially for a Braves offense who really likes to go station to station. But this is 2 straight games from the Braves offense that we have seen a lot of success. We've seen guys at the bottom of the order producing stuff and allowing guys at the top to be RBI guys and to get them home. It's great to see 2 consistent games of offense from this team. And even though these aren't 2 of the top pitching staffs in the Cape, this is still Cape League baseball. These are still really good pitchers. The Braves brought out the bats tonight. I think they've got all the momentum going into Harwich.
What does he bring to this Bourne roster?
Well, right now he's shown everybody why the Braves are so happy to have him back and why Missouri State is so happy to have him in the first place and why the national team wants him as well. I said it yesterday, he's essentially a 5-tool player, but the biggest thing he provides to this Braves lineup is pop that is isolated in his at-bat. The fact that he's able to come up in a situation in which just one swing of the bat changed the course of the game as far as the score, as far as the momentum, it doesn't matter. Throughout the course of this season, we've seen the Braves be in a lot of situations where they've had to close out 1-run games starting from the 7th inning all the way to the 9th. That's a tough task to ask of your bullpen, especially against these caliber of hitters. But what Ironman does is he's able to be that guy to come up and extend a 1-run lead to a 2-run lead. We saw that tonight where the Braves had one big inning, as they've done all year. They had the one inning where they got the 4 runs. That was really enough tonight. I don't think you could have anticipated as fantastic performances we got out of Poulin and Linsman. But for Ironman to be able to come up and even just a solo home run variety, that swing of the bat right there really kept the momentum going for the Braves. Helped solidify that lead and just made things so much easier for the relievers.
In the zone and put good swings on them when I can, and I've been able to do that the past couple days.
Well, we'll see Brennan Bro back in the lineup this evening. Troy Lynch and Michael Stern have your call. Brennan, thank you for joining me, and Tony, thank you for joining as well. I'm Kyle Kercheval. I'll see you post-game. Behind the plate, A's catcher Dustin Garneau is responsible for everything, from managing pitchers and defenses to scouting reports on opposing hitters. But while his demands on the diamond may seem tough, it might only get harder when he gets home. As the father of twins, 1-year-old Maverick and Maddox, and 3-month-old Nixon, the combination of baseball, travel, and now kids has added a new element to Garneau's career.
For me, it's a little easier. My wife's got the hard job. She's got to carry the kids and do all that kind of stuff when I'm gone. So, but it's definitely tough. Whenever I'm gone more than a day or a long road trip and you come back and you see them, it's really, really hard on the road. But when you come back, it makes everything all worthwhile.
After spending the first 9.5 years of his career in the Rockies organization, Garneau's transition to Oakland includes a shot at the Major League roster. His kids have become a new piece of motivation.
As much as I can bring them anywhere, I will bring them. Like, bring out to spring training. If I go to Oakland, I'll go there. If I go to AAA, I won't bring them. It's too far of a drive for my wife and to bring them out there. But as much as I can have them around is what I want.
And while Garneau's 3 boys aren't quite old enough to pick up a Louisville Slugger, they do enjoy getting the jersey dirty. Just like their dad behind the plate.
Right now, it's just roughhouse, and they're at the point where they're running. They're not quite talking. They're bad ones, saying some words, but they love to be outside and play in the dirt and stuff, so I'm out there right with them.
Amidst all of the change and responsibilities that have been a part of Garneau's near 10-year career in baseball, his boys might be the biggest. But they're also the best.
It means everything. People say you don't really understand the love of a child you give to a child until you have one. I understand that now because those 3 little dudes mean everything to me.
In Mesa, Kyle Kercheval, Cronkite News.